I sincerely believe that this is the best time to be alive. So many opportunities, technology, globalization, and I live in Canada, so being a woman is no longer a liability. That's always good. So the world is our oyster. I know there's still work to be done, but God, it is the best time to be alive. But I do find that being a woman can still be tough, even in Canada. We make less money than men for doing the same job. We are still token representatives on our gender in many organizations. If Warren Buffett writes a book about business, he's writing from his experience, about his experience, and it's okay. Sheryl Sandberg writes a similar book. She's not representing all the women. And this is right in front of you. So I came to this country thinking that being a woman will be a non-issue from now on. And then I ended up getting a job in consulting in the construction industry. Imagine it's like the 60s, Imagine like the Mad Men, except really bad wardrobes and really, really bad haircuts. And early in my career, I had a boss who was a nice, generous man. But every time there was a plum project, I never got it. I had 2 colleagues, my age, my qualifications, they were male. So if they're in office, there was a difficult question that came up, he needed to consult someone, it was difficult, it was complicated, I was the gal for it. But whenever it came to leading projects, I never got them. So one time, after I had researched the building code to find a clause to raise the client, to save the client approximately $1 million, one of the guys ended up being the client liaison on the same project. I find myself marching into a room full of senior management and saying rather loudly, "Are you kidding me?" Actually, that's not what I said, but it's being recorded, so let's go with that. They all had the decency to go really red in the face. And I was told, "Mininder, this is so unfortunate. You are the best man for the job, but you are a woman." You see, the projects involved extended traveling with the team, which were all men. Extended, entertaining the client, who were all men. Site meetings on remote sites at 6 a.m. in the morning, all men. So these guys it was awkward. It was embarrassing, and they didn't want to tell me that. So even though I was the best man for the job, I never actually got the job. A few months later, I got a call. The same boss says, "Mininder, do you have a suit?" I'm like, "I think so." He's like, "Have a suit and put it on, and this is the meeting, and show up." And I showed up, and I realized our client has just promoted a woman to be a project manager on the project. So now, they needed a woman to sit in the room, and I actually had the answer, so I was the best gal for the job. Actually, I was the best man for the job, and I got it. So the best part of the story is a month later, I get a call from one of our suppliers where we were a client. And this woman called, introducing herself as my new liaison. We did about $1 million of work with them every year. So she'd been promoted to make it less awkward for me when they entertained us. And of course, she'd be the best man for the job in her office for years before the opportunity came. So the domino effect was in full swing, and boy, we had a good time. This made me realize that, the battle is not won. And I don't want to use the term battle, because it's not that we are fighting with men. Somebody said if women want equality with men, they need to be a little more ambitious. And yeah, it's difficult. This made me realize there's a reason only Maggie Thatcher could be the feminine president, a prime minister in the 80s. I don't think anybody had a chance. You had to be a battle axe. There was no other option. And I was watching an old archives from BBC Radio, and there was a group of men sitting and talking. Do women even want to work outside the house? And it's a true fact. You can look it up. And so I think that we are here by standing on the shoulders of she-giants, women who put up a lot of fight so we can, in this country, a woman can have a room here and they talk about stuff, and there's countries like Afghanistan where a woman can get shot for going to school, wanted to go to school. It's still, it's the same earth, not too far away. So I still think that a lot of work has been done, but the next 10 to 15 years is going to be crucial. And the role that we all have to play is, while we're standing on the shoulders of other she-giants, we have to allow other women to stand on ours. And I strongly believe that that is needed if we are going to, take these great strides and take them to the natural conclusion where they need to be. So the only way to pay back to the women for the sacrifices before us is to pay it forward to the women that are coming after us. Sorry, not coming after us as a knife, but coming after us. Sorry, English is a second language. When I'm tired, I mix my metaphors. It took me 10 years to figure out turning something on and turning on to someone are different things. But that's all I had to say. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.